Like and subscribe on the way, in the door, my people. Today's topic was actually sparked by one of these fanboys in the comments. I'm not going to read the whole comment, but one thing he said, I said, let me talk about this a little bit. He commented on Michael Jordan's leadership and him beating up his teammates. First of all, let me say this. In competition, fights are always a possibility if you are truly competing hard. Again, I used to play in 3-on-3 tournaments and such, and there were several times where it almost came to blows. But even in most of those instances, at the end of the game, we all shook hands because we understood that it was just part of the competition and everybody wanted to win. So let me talk about Michael Jordan's leadership. First of all, you have to understand the path of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's biggest obstacle on his road to becoming the 6-0, never allowing a Game 7, 6 Finals MVPs champion that he is, I would say his biggest obstacle was the Detroit Pistons. I think we all know this. And what is it about the Detroit Pistons? They were playing football. They were knocking Jordan out the air. Again, this is on video. You can find it on YouTube. It's one play where, 2 other players look like they're throwing Michael out the air as Dennis Rodman throws a punch. So yeah, they were playing football. And I would say most of Michael Jordan's teammates were intimidated by this. And for you fanboys, again, Scottie Pippen didn't come onto the team and just magically the Bulls started winning. No, Scottie Pippen suffered a couple of those losses as well. And I would dare say you could see Scottie Pippen was intimidated in those games. So Michael Jordan, first of all, going back to the mentality of a winner to overcome no matter what. We all know that Michael Jordan took those beatings and then he went and worked out and, got stronger so that he could absorb that contact better. But let's talk about the fact that on a play-by-play basis, despite the fact that Detroit was beating him up like that, he still would go back to the rim with no fear. Think about that mindset. Despite these plays where he's getting thrown out of the air onto the ground, clothesline, tripped, the next play, he's still trying to go back to the rim. Think about that mindset, fanboys. So yeah, this is what Michael had to overcome. And I believe this ultimately is what shaped his leadership style. Because what? Because Michael Jordan understood that to overcome these kind of challenges, and they had more challenges like this. The Indiana Pacers was a physical team. I think recently, I don't know how recent it was, but on some interview or article or something, but Jordan said that the New York Knicks were the most physical team that he had to play against. So it didn't end with the Pistons. Jordan understood that you have to be fearless in order to make it to the top and definitely in order to maintain your position at the top. You cannot be intimidated by this physical play. I believe the Detroit Pistons are what shaped Jordan's leadership style. I believe the Detroit Pistons are the team that made Jordan understand how mentally tough you have to be to get over that. Now, Jordan was always that mentally tough. Again, think about the fact that, he's getting clothesline out the air, but the very next play, he's trying to drive to the hole and dunk on you. Think about that again. Think about that mindset. However, so it is well known that, Jordan's leadership style, you could call it harsh, abrasive, not sensitive for you fanboys. But to me, this is what ultimately his leadership style was getting his teammates to do by constantly putting the pressure on them, even ridiculing. We all saw The Last Dance, where he's antagonizing teammates and calling them names. But at the end of the day, what was Michael Jordan trying to accomplish? He was trying to get his teammates to stand up for themselves. He was trying to get his teammates to stand up for yourself, because that's what you have to do on the court. When teams like the New York Knicks start pushing you around, you have to be able to stand your ground and, just like Michael Jordan, get knocked down one play and go right back to the hole the very next play with no fear. This is what Michael Jordan, and this is what he did accomplish. This is why the Chicago Bulls were 6-0, because he made sure everybody understood that mindset one way or another. However, he had to get you to be in that mode, to be in that fearless mode, to be in that stand up for yourself mode. Don't let yourself get bullied out here. This is what this was about, is creating that intense playoff-like environment in practice. And again, I told you at the beginning of this video, like I used to play in 3-on-3 tournaments. Like, plenty of fights I almost broke out. And that was in tournaments where people were desperate to win. Desperate to prove they were the best. Well, guess what? Fanboys. MJ made practices feel like that. Practices had enough intensity to cause a fight. And that's what happened between him and Steve Kerr. But I would argue that fight built a trust between them. To me, that fight is what led to the pass to Steve Kerr. To me, after that fight, because I can't remember the exact details, but it went something to the degree that, Jordan was playing rough with Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr gave him an elbow, and Jordan was like, "You do it again, and I'm gonna hit you." And Steve Kerr did it again, and Jordan hit him, and I think they had to break the two up. But what Jordan learned about Steve Kerr in that moment is that Steve Kerr is not going to back down. And I believe that's what built that trust. Jordan knew at that moment, Steve Kerr does not fold. And I believe that was a bonding moment, that Michael Jordan called and apologized for that. But I think that was a bonding moment for Jordan and Kerr, in the sense that, like I said, Jordan knew that Steve Kerr wouldn't fold. And I think Steve Kerr knew that is what Michael Jordan respected. Steve Kerr, as a role player, knew that Michael Jordan respects killers. Michael Jordan respects somebody who is not gonna fold. This is what that harsh leadership style was about, was standing up for yourself. And proving that you're not gonna fold in the heat of battle. Fanboys. This is why your king only has 4 championships, even though he's played on super teams. Let me say this. LeBron's first big mistake was leaving Cleveland. But his second big mistake was leaving Miami. But at any rate, yeah, LeBron's passive-aggressive style of leadership is why he has had to ring chase, because LeBron is truly not a leader. Anyway, back to Jordan. Like I said, that this harsh style of leadership, that's what it was about. Getting you to stand up for yourself in the face of battle and to know that he could count on you in the face of battle. That's what led to the Steve Kerr moment. That's what led to Jordan saying, hey, if they double team me, I'm coming to you. And that's what gave Steve Kerr the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to be ready. If you have to come to me, I'll be ready to knock down a shot. I'm not going to fold. That is the mentality of the Chicago Bulls leader and role players. Or I should say leader, second in command in Scottie Pippen, and the role players. But it started with Jordan. So while you fanboys out here trying to talk about super teams, which by now my video talking about the first three-peat should be out, but talking about super teams, the fact of the matter is that Jordan was the super team. Jordan himself, because he was not going to accept anybody on the team who might fold. If you're going to play beside me, I need to know that you're not going to fold when the pressure happens. We're talking about the most clutch person in the history of basketball. Jordan's clutch stats is right at about 50%, people. Much higher than everyone else. Kobe, much higher than everyone else. And why is that? Because Jordan does not fold. He doesn't know how to fold. How many players are going to keep going right back to the basket after getting knocked down in a way that could potentially injure you every time? Michael Jordan doesn't know how to fold. That's what his leadership style was about, is getting you to stand up for yourself, getting you to play with no fear, building that trust so that everyone on the team knows that we are soldiers out here and we do not fold under pressure. We cannot be bullied by teams like the Pistons. Well, I should say after they got past the Pistons. The Pistons was the training. The Pistons was boot camp. And once they got past the Pistons, it was on from there. We can't be bullied by teams like the Indiana Pacers or the New York Knicks or even the Miami Heat with Alonzo Mourning. Anyway, I have gone on long enough. I just wanted to talk about Jordan's quote-unquote harsh style of leadership. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you agree with my take on Jordan's harsh style of leadership and why it was necessary and what it did to breed a culture of fearlessness in the Chicago Bulls, which is why they have 6 championships, no game 7s, and no finals losses? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. All right.